it's a lipstick gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I asked previously if you would be interested in seeing eyeshadow palettes that kind of excite me for fall. And I had enough people going like, I want to see that. So I went through my entire stash. And here's what I want to recommend that you do the same. Instead of feeling like you need to run out and buy something new, what do you already have that evokes that fall feeling for you? These are the 10. I think I might have a bonus one. Maybe we'll say it's 10 and a honorable mention in here that really kind of evoke the fall feels for me. I'm going to start today by telling you the eyeshadow that I'm wearing today. This palette is one of like my perfect formulas. It comes in several different colorways, but it's the Divine Skies by M Cosmetics. This is from the Masterpiece collection, and this is the one in Da Vinci. So this is what she looks like. We've got some nice depth here. We have some warmth. I like that we have 3 mattes, 3 shimmers. These are beautiful. When I first started wearing this formula, I got the peach one that's in Magic Hour. Then I went for Venetian Rose, which is more kind of like a rose tone with some cooler shades in there. And then I picked up this light neutral shade. This one here, this one is in Rodin. And this one is actually made for people with light to fair skin. That's me. This one here is designed for people with richer skin tones than me. But what I like so much about M is I feel like so many of their shades, their blush, their eyeshadow, their lip products, they work on anyone. And when I first tried this on, I was like, oh, it's too dark. And it was just because I was used to something else. But the minute I went back like a couple of weeks later and I saw a picture of myself that I was taking for Instagram, I was like, ooh, I really like my eye look. I wonder what I was wearing that day. It was this one. And I feel like maybe in spring or summer when I want something a little bit lighter or a little bit more colorful, this is not what I'm wanting to reach for. But when I want that warmth without it looking too, terracotta or too burnt umber, this is what I'm liking, because I feel like these shades here, even though they are warm, they're not so warm that it completely overwhelms me. And as I'm looking here at my eye, I feel like they blend so nicely. I'm using 4 out of the 6 shades today. I love this palette. I love this palette. 6 pans. I like the packaging. I like how compact it is. I have, I think, 4 of these palettes. This is a really great formula, and Da Vinci is divine for fall. Here's one that I feel works all year long, but I feel like it really feels like fall to me because I think that's when I first got it. And I've had this for a while and I love it, and it's still gorgeous. And it's this. This is the Petit Four from Viseart. This is the Praline. This is one of the first Petit Fours they put out. I love a small eyeshadow palette. This quad is beautiful. This is great because it has 1 matte. It has a couple of metallics and a slightly satiny shade. These are warm, but they're not too warm. These work well on a wide range of skin tones. These wear beautifully all day. I love Viseart. I think it was their 2020 holiday collection, but I fell in love with this little compact, 4 eyeshadows with a little magnetic closure, no mirror. It's just like, boop. The other thing that's great is that these guys, they're all in here magnetic, so you can rearrange things. But I'll tell you, I'm dropping things. I'll tell you, I really love these, and this palette is fantastic. This is the perfect neutral palette, but I feel like it has a little bit of warmth in there. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, but she is just absolutely stunning. This is one that when I kind of don't know what to reach for, I go for this. Here's another one that's on the cooler side, another Petit Four from Viseart. Oh, I love this. Was part of last year's holiday collection. This one is the Lilas Dew. So this is like the second take on the Lilas palette. The original Lilas palette had some really beautiful silvers, kind of like a platinum shade, a light pale gray, and a really soft, it was very similar to this, a very light lilac-y, not quite lavender, but kind of like a dusky lavender shade. Here you have a little bit of warmth. You do have the coolness and a much darker but cooler matte shade. These are so beautiful on the eye. I absolutely love these. And I like being able to go kind of more plum toned. You even have this warmer option here. So this palette can do a lot. You don't have to use all 4 shades. You could use 1 shade as a wash over the eye. You could use one just as a liner along that lash line. I love this Viseart formula. It's stunning. And if you're not kind of like a warm kind of person, you might really like the Lilas Dew. This is stunning. Even the packaging for this next palette evokes fall. Okay, this is my last Viseart one, but I am obsessed with Viseart. This is the Cashmere palette. This is a beautiful palette that has both warm and cool tones in it, but I mean, look at all the leaves on there. Oh, it's stunning. All right, so here, this palette packaging does come with a mirror. Mine is really dusty, used and abused. Like, this is real life here. This is what it looks like though. You have like more kind of cool and plum tones on this side. You have a little bit warmer tones on this side, but as dark as we get is this really dark brown here. I love this palette. These shades right here a long time ago were part of a Theory palette from Viseart when they were doing 6-pan palettes, and it was the Cashmere palette. They discontinued their Theory line and they came out with these Entendu palettes, and this is 12 shades. But these work so well together. You've got the cool side, you've got the warm side, they marry well together. And if you're looking kind of like for one fall palette that's gonna do it all, I would say this. The quality is amazing. You have warm, you have cool, you have shimmers, you have mattes. You can mix things across. You don't just have to use like this more berry side or the more neutral kind of brownie side. You can do whatever you want. I love this. I am forever in here. Some of my favorite shades in here are the metallics. I love these. These kind of cooler tones right here are stunning, but this one right here, like all of them, I really love this palette. I feel like this palette has the ability to build intensity and depth, but it's also really, if you go in with a light hand and you use some of like the lighter shades, or it can really look kind of like your skin, but better. This has the ability to do it all. And you might notice there's kind of like a dark line on the end here. I use setting spray or Inglot's Duraline on a liner brush, and I wet the brush, and then I draw it right along the edge here. So I use this both as eyeshadow and as eyeliner. I really love this palette. This is fantastic. If you're curious, I will link my entire Viseart playlist for you here, as well as the description box down below. But I really feel like Viseart quality is fantastic, and this Cashmere palette is perfect for fall. If everything so far has been a little bit too neutral, a little bit too like unassuming, here's one of my absolute favorite palettes. I think this feels like a party in a palette, and it's from Lisa Eldridge. I will have to check to see if it's in stock, because this is one that is like forever in stock, out of stock, in stock, out of stock. And it's the Sorcery palette. Oh my goodness. This one, love. I will link for you here the video where I do a full look using this palette, but it's these greens in here that are absolutely stunning. These are the colors. I love these. These are only 4 of the 6 shades. I didn't swatch the blue or this kind of sparkly shade here, but these are the ones I reach for the most. This one right here in Grotto is so beautiful. It's like the most peacocky of peacock shades. It's green, it's beautiful, it's transformative, especially over this darker shade here. This one here in Madrigal is astounding. If you like kind of like a green leaning gold, this one is amazing. And this one here, this one is in Mage. It's such a beautiful metallic, but it has this really pretty kind of cool tone to it. But it works so well. I don't understand how these go well together, but they do. They're just beautiful. This is one that I didn't wear a lot of in the summertime or the spring, but this is basically screaming, like opening the drawer and I can hear it go, play with me, play with me. This is literally my party in a palette. I love this. Can't wait to reach for this. I've got a couple of palettes I want to share from you from the same brand, and it's Wayne Goss. I feel like Wayne does such a beautiful job of creating eye color stories. I love his palette so much. And this one here in Amber is one of my favorites. I like that we have this beautiful kind of cranberry tone here. This kind of intense peachy shade is fabulous, but there is kind of like a satin shade in here that's brown. Oh my goodness. It's not too much. It's just enough. Look at this. This Celestial topper in here is fantastic. I love that this is mostly matte shadows. We've got 4 mattes in here. We have this one slightly satin eyeshadow, but if you really want to bring some added drama, you have this gorgeous Celestial topper on here. It is over the top. When I was wearing this yesterday, I had so many people like, oh, your eyeshadow is so pretty. What are you wearing? I love Wayne's Celestial shades, but I feel like if you're fair like me, I feel like this here, I didn't think it was gonna work for me because it was, you know, really warm. But the truth is, this is stunning, stunning, stunning. And with this kind of cranberry shade here and these beautiful browns in through here, this is perfect for fall. I really love this palette. When I was wearing it yesterday, I had so many people asking what I was wearing on my eyes. And I think a lot of it was the drama of this like celestial sparkle topper here. But I also really love on days when I'm running out the door and I don't have time for too much, using just this one satin shade as a one and done eye look. There have been days that I've used like just these two shades here. This is infinitely versatile and I like that. The other thing that I love about Wayne's packaging is how large the pans are. I feel like you have an abundance of product. I never feel like, you know, I'm in there with a little teeny tiny brush trying to make sure that no, I could use like a face brush and pick up these products. Really, really love. The other one from Wayne that I'm obsessed with for fall is the Tourmaline palette. So if you are not kind of like loving the cranberry and kind of the peach tones in the amber one, this might be for you. These shades are so pretty. And one of my favorite shades in here is this one. I really like that Wayne's formula is so good on a mature lid. This is a beautiful satin shade. It's not too sparkly. It doesn't enhance texture. It goes on like a dream. Same with his mattes. I really, really love that. Here are the swatches. I'm just starting here with the Celestial. I feel like the Celestials are a little bit different. Some are a little bit more impactful than others, but I love this gorgeous gold here. And then it kind of goes into these beautiful kind of plum tones here, but there is this really pretty kind of soft satiny shell pink. I really, really like this palette. I like how easy it is to use and how it really evokes that feeling of fall, of coziness, of warmth, of depth and drama, but not too much. I really, really love Tourmaline. Would it be an eyeshadow recommendation video if I didn't bring up my favorite brand? Oh my goodness, so in love with Sydney Grace. And one of my favorites that I reach for every fall is the Mountain Trail palette. This is what it looks like. Oh my goodness, the shades in here are stunning. This palette has nothing but range. I love the pressed pigments in here. These are so pretty. The metallics are stunning. The mattes are so easy to use. They are just beautiful. And I like that this is the sort of color that I like to wear, where it's colorful, but it's not like Barbie pink. It's not like teal blue, but it has kind of like an earthiness to it. It has a richness and a depth. And these greens, they call to me, especially for fall. I love the Mountain Trail. It's a really nice, affordable palette. Another one that I love from Sydney Grace, this is a newer one. This one came out this summer. This is the Heaven on Earth palette. Now, many of the palettes from Sydney Grace come in on a light and a deep version. This is the light version, but this one does have some blues in it, but I kind of look at it like this, like everything else here just screams fall. I have some warmth up and through here. I have some beautiful bronzes, but this center aisle where it's all kind of murky, it's still my heart. I love this so, so much. There are some really stunning, easy, beautiful, kind of like one shadow looks in here, a little bit of liner, and you're out the door. This is great also on a day, and it doesn't really look like it, that you want something a little understated. You could stick in it like shades like this and maybe bring in a deeper matte. This is so easy to go like really light and easy and really glam and dark. And if you get the deep version, some of these shades like this one here, they're gonna be just a little bit richer, a little bit darker, but the color story is gonna stay the same. I absolutely love Heaven on Earth, and I think it's fantastic for fall. All right, here is another one that is a newer palette. I wanted to end with the new ones. I wanted to show you that I am reaching for things that I've had in my collection for a while. But yeah, I am playing with the new things. This is something I just can't put down. And I think this is like kind of like my spring, summer, fall, winter palette. This is like an anytime it makes me happy palette. Is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, she's so pretty, so sparkly, and I'm in love. I'll link the video for you here and the description box down below where I try it on, where I show you swatches. But what I love about this is that I have the opportunity to go cool. I have the opportunity to go warm. There's this shade, there's this shade. If I want like almost like there's no color on my lid, but just a little bit of sparkle, I could add something like this. Or something like this, where it looks really like almost nothing on the eye, but then when the light catches, it's like, wait, what is that? That's what I like about this palette. I've heard a lot of people talking, and I feel like the sort of looks I've been doing, they all kind of come out looking the same, even though I'm using slightly different shades, but that doesn't really bother me. For me, what I love about this are the textural differences. I feel like the difference between some of these kind of sparkly shades are completely different. The way that they catch the light, the way they distribute the dimensional color that's in here. And then on top of that, if I want a really easy, like no fuss look, I could stay just in the mattes and use really pretty either cool or warm tones in the crease of the eye and call it good. Like this can do anything for me. And I really, really like it. This is definitely one I'm gonna be reaching for a lot. So this last palette, this is like my honorable mention. And I'm not saying it's an honorable mention because it's not good. This I don't really think of as an eyeshadow palette, but you could use it as an eyeshadow palette. This is a makeup product you can use anywhere. I have used this for brows, for lip liner, for cheeks, for eyes, like for a lot of stuff. And it's the new Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette. All right, this is the Defining Neutrals palette. This is stunning. You have a lot of different options in here. It is matte, but this formula, this velvet pomade formula, oh my goodness, it's such a pretty kind of putty-like texture. Like you could literally like leave little divots in it. I'm gonna try and even it out. I shouldn't be gouging it, but I want you to know that it's super soft, super easy. You could pick it up with your finger. You could pick it up with a brush. It works both ways. And then every single one of these shades has a coordinating powder right next to it. I have used this in so many different ways. I use this as bronzer, I use it as contour, I use it in my eyebrows, I use it as eyeliner, I use it as eyeshadow. I mentioned I lined my lips with this. I feel like this can really do so much. So it's not like my favorite eyeshadow palette for fall, but I'm gonna be reaching for this a lot. It's very, very good at like meeting anyone's needs color-wise because this works for all skin tones. But for me, it's the creativity that I have with the different shades and the different textures and the fact that it's not just, and I know you could use eyeshadows on your face and other places than just on your eyes. You could use it as blush, you could use it as contour, you could, but I like that this isn't just kind of boxing itself in as an eyeshadow palette. So this is kind of like my honorable mention, but I'm gonna be obsessed with this during the fall. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know when you're thinking of fall eyeshadows, what are you reaching for? There are a lot of neutral palettes that I could have brought out and mentioned in here, but I feel like I wanted to give you a good range of cool tone, warm tone, an all matte palette, something that was basically all spangle and sparkles. I wanted to give you options, and I want you to think about this as a way to go through your eyeshadow collection, be it large or small, and think about what evokes that feeling of fall with what you already have. Thank you so much for watching. I will link the videos that I mentioned in the description box down below, and if you did want to pick up any of these, I will have as many things as possible linked in the description box as well. Let me know what sorts of eye looks you're craving this fall in the comment section. Thanks for spending time watching today. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon.